Hey, which one? I don't know how to record. طيب. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. How are you guys? وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. How are you? Guru. Alhamdulillah. 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 Dr. Said, how are you? I think the rest of the people didn't join yet. Inshallah, we'll start and then they can join, inshallah ta'ala, while we're talking later. Who's this? Okay. So we have so far Fahim, okay, G Sweet, Milan. Okay. بإذن الله تعالى. طيب. طيب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي الكريم وعلى آل بيته وصحابته ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين ثم أما بعد. Inshallah ta'ala, today as we announced, Bismillah, we will start talking about the fardiyat al-zakah, the obligation of the zakah, the rules of the zakah, the ways of understanding our zakah, how to give the zakah, to whom should we give the zakah, and on what are the types of money or property that the zakah is eligible for. All of this will be inshallah ta'ala covering today and Wednesday, Tuesday bi'idhnillah tabarak wa ta'ala. Before I start, I know that lots of people actually, when it comes to the zakah, that's what makes me every period time. I love to talk about it because lots of people, inshallah, you find them very religious when it comes to physical performance of their ibadah. But when it comes to the financial performance, they're hesitant. There is something like they don't get it. Like, why should they pay money? And that's number one. Number two, some people actually, when you say zakah, what comes to their mind is that zakah, meaning too much money. I don't have too much money, so it's not for me. طبعا, both ways are, there is big misconception here, because if you wanna like see how it works, you will be surprised, because it's not about somebody has millions of dollars in his bank account and then we are asking them to pay his zakah. No, it's that the nisab of the zakah is something that can be affordable for everyone, and maybe you have it for a long time and you don't pay attention to that. Yes, I understand that some of us are students. Like, what are you talking about, Sheikh? Sometimes our money is eligible for the zakah and we have to pay the zakah. So we will go through that quickly. I know there is lots of questions comes about what type of the zakah that I have to pay. And إيهاب، دكتور إيهاب، لو سمحت خد الباب ده في ايدك لو سمحت. الله يعزك، ربنا يخليك، جزاك الله خير. For many things that we need to discuss. I know that lots of questions will come when we talk about the zakat. So I try to take a little bit of a time until Hussam Gharib comes. Inshallah. Hussam Gharib came. So خلاص يلا we'll start أحسن. Inshallah عليك. So I'm joking actually. I was waiting for most of the people to come. Dr. Ahmed came and Hussam and Murad and mashallah they joined the group and Gasser I see them all mashallah. That's more than enough for me for today. Anybody else can join us later inshallah ta'ala. طيب, before I talk about the technical or the technicality of the zakah, let's understand what does the zakah mean. I need somebody now to refresh us and to speak up and to tell me ولا يهمك يا دكتورنا ربنا يخليك, to tell me what does the word zakah means to him. Anybody? Just raise your hand and go ahead. Mute yourself, unmute yourself and go ahead. Guys, can you hear me? Seems that I'm not mute. Yes, you can hear me, sir. Right. So I need somebody to tell me what does the word zakah mean to him. Anybody? Murad, go ahead, ya Murad. Yeah. Hmm. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Jazakallah khairan, Murad. This is in brief. I have Dr. Ahmed here and Hussam give me some answers too. Jazakallah khairan. In brief, what you give is the technical definition of the word zakah. But when you talk about the linguistic, and it was my mistake that I didn't specify exactly what do I want from the definition. If you talk about the linguistic meaning of the word zakah, zakah, exactly. Jazakallah khairan, Murad. Barakallah fiqh. So we're talking about purifying, cleansing our money. We're talking about seeking for increase and blessings in our money. Both. يبقى الزيادة التطهير والزيادة والنماء. Both. So when you talk about the zakah, you think about it this way. You know what happens most of the time when people comes to their due date of the zakah and when they have to give, they're thinking of giving more than cleaning and purifying and increasing. And that's wrong. I always remember this. Let me start with it. Subhanallah. One of the big donors here in this city one time told me that he was listening, back in the days, he was listening to a khutbah. So this khutbah, the Shaykh was talking about the ayah in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُم فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ مثل الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله كمثل حبة أنبتت سبع سنابل. You guys know this ayah. Like when you give your money for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I'm talking now even about sadaqah. So it will be like if you have one branch tree and then has seven the tree has seven branches and everyone has في كل سنبلة 100 حبة. Every one branch has a 100 seed. So he said, when I heard this ayah, I said, you know what? I gave for the sake of Allah that day. So when I left, I went and subhanallah, I found my money is increasing in a way that I didn't even imagine. He reached a point. He was listening to khutbah from me. That's like maybe 15 years later. 15 years later, he said, subhanallah, when he listened to my khutbah, he gave some money. He went on his way, he got a phone call with some money, 10 times of the money that he gave for the sake of Allah. Just like that. It comes like that. And when we think about zakah, we think about increasing our wealth. Imagine, so you give, but you are actually taking. It's not about giving. Hatta even this guy at the end, they said that sometimes I feel that I am very very يعني I'm asking when I give. It's not that I'm giving to get. Sometimes I do feel that good about it, which is يعني subhanallah, it's a high level of understanding the meaning of the zakah. طيب. اللهم أعط منفقا خلفا زي ما قال الشيخ حسام. جزاك الله خير. So we're talking about purifying our money. We're talking about increasing our money. ولذلك قالوا أن المعنى اللغوي أو الاصطلاحي الاصطلاحي والشرعي للزكاة هو تمليك مال عينه الشارع لمستحقه مع قطع المنفعة عن المملك. That you are taking some money and giving it to somebody. By giving this money, this amount of money to the poor guy, you're actually making him the owner, and you have no relation with the money anymore. خلاص. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you, this is the right of this guy. This is the right of this person. It's not your money. Imagine. And when I take the 2.5%, we'll come talking about, we'll talk about the details of the zakah later. This 2.5%, if it stays in your bank account, it's not your money. You have to understand this. This is not your money. It's the money of the person who will be receiving it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it obligatory on you that you take this amount of money and give it away for the sake of Allah, and this person will be having this money absolutely for him. طبعا the rules will be, and the details will be explaining more about how to give, how to take, and stuff like that. The ruling on the zakah, again, what is the ruling of the zakah? Simply, what's the ruling of the salah? What's the ruling of the siyam? The siyam of the month of Ramadan. It's obligatory. It's فرض عين على من ملك النصاب. يعني it's obligatory upon every single Muslim as long as they have the nisab, the amount of money that eligible, the zakah eligible on. ولذلك you find it clear in the Quran. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ. يا أخي, establish prayer, give the zakah. You will find lots of people, I'm telling you, they're very, very active when it comes to the salah, when it comes to the siyam. MashaAllah. When it comes to their bank account, their pocket, there is something wrong with it. They don't react at all. They don't want to do it, which is very dangerous. والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في حديث سيدنا عبد الله بن عمر يعني خلاص, this hadith we covered a lot. بني الإسلام على خمس. خلاص, there are 5 pillars on which Islam is rests. One of them is the zakah. Yes, it's not on everyone, but if you have the money, you have to do it. سيدنا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, when he sent سيدنا معاذ إلى اليمن, to Yemen, قال أدعوهم إلى شهادة الله. First, call them for Islam, and that Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم is a messenger of Allah. If they respond, if they accept, then tell them about the salah. If they accept, tell them about الزكاة. صدقة تؤخذ من أغنيائهم تعطى لفقرائهم. Certain amount of money has to be taken from the rich, given to the poor. طيب, حكمتها وأثرها. يعني again, for me to understand يعني the situation that we have today, that some people are losing their work and some people are struggling all over the world, especially the Muslim world, to be honest with you, because of the situation, the government, if the government here is taking care of the people over there, they don't care too much. So the situation now, if everybody is yani taking this amount of money, his zakah, and giving to the poor with understanding the fact that this is his money, it's not my money, that will achieve the wisdom behind the obligation of the zakah. The zakah, as they said, لها حكم كثيرة. لها حكم كثيرة. There's lots of wisdoms behind the obligation of the zakah. أول حاجة, number one, as I said earlier, it purifies your mind. Number two, for you, it's a great thing for forgiveness of your sins. فإن الله يغفر ذنبه ويرفع درجات. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive the sin of this person and elevate him, put him in higher degree. But one of the great perspectives and wisdoms of the zakah, of the responding to the zakah, is the is the influence that we have on the community, which is we're looking for. Yani, let me read this in quickly in Arabic, and I'm going to translate it. قالوا اليتيم الذي لا مال له ولا أهل ينفقون عليه والفقير الذي لا يجد له ولا لزوجه ولا أولاده ما يسد حاجتهم والمدين الذي أعضلته الديون كل هؤلاء ينظرون إلى أموال الأغنياء بنفوس حاقدة. يعني when you look at it, we live in one community. This community has some people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed them with wealth and money, but the same community has some people are struggling. This orphan doesn't have anybody to look after him. This person in debt, he is in debt and he needs help. And this poor man who has to afford for his family and he cannot afford for them. Imagine, and that's unfortunately the most preponderant opinion, or the common behavior of the Muslim, the Muslims all over the world, that we don't pay attention to these people. We don't care. Hatta even when I give some money, I just gave a couple of days ago, I was one of the words that I posted on the Facebook was about this ayah, the gems of an ayah. If you guys following that, I post a couple of days, 3 days a week on the Facebook. The ayah that I choose on Thursday was this ayah, قَوْلٌ مَعْرُوفٌ وَمَغْفِرَةٌ خَيْرٌ مِّن صَدَقَةٍ يَتْبَعُهَا. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you, if you're going to give the sadaqah and you keep reminding the people about what you give them, do not give it. Just say a good word. Kind words, much better than giving and then keep reminding the people about that. Because at the end of the day, you're not giving it from your own money. As I said, it's their money. And those people, if we ignore them, those are less fortunate people. If we ignore them and we don't give them and we don't ask about them and we don't care for them, do not think that they will be happy and wishing good and the best for you. Absolutely not. They will be looking at your wealth, at your money. Like, why especially he's getting all of this money and he's not asking about us? And don't say why. Are we going to say like Qarun, I'm just getting this money because I got more education? I got this. To be honest with you, some people, they actually speak in this language, saying, you know what, man, Sheikh, what are you talking about, Sheikh? I worked too much. I studied too much. Day and night I'm working. It's not my fault that he's not doing like what I'm doing. No, it's not his fault too. His situation is different than your situation. He was not. He didn't get the same success in your. Allah subhanahu wa taala gave you this everything, and you have to understand that you have a responsibility towards your community. So the wisdoms are lots. For the person himself, you need to seek forgiveness, and one of the ways to seek forgiveness by giving your zakah. The money itself, you need to purify your money, and one of the best ways of you purifying your money. And when you talk about purifying, not every single penny we have is a 100% halal. We still have here and there. So you need to purify that through the zakah. And for sure, you have a responsibility towards your community. And this is very important. And I don't want to talk much about this because I need to go more to the technicality of the zakah. طيب. لذلك النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, سيدنا أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه, مامون, you came late, مامون. سيدنا أنس بن مالك قال أتى رجل. These hadith, guys, the hadith, when you listen to hadith, a situation between the Prophet ﷺ and one of the Sahaba, think about yourself. When the Sahaba went to the Prophet ﷺ and asked about a specific ruling, it means he's asking for you and I to get, the guidance in this area. لذلك سيدنا أنس بن مالك said, a man came to the Prophet ﷺ فقال يا رسول الله إني ذو مال كثير وذو أهل ومال وحاضرة فأخبرني كيف أصنع. This man came to the Prophet ﷺ. Now, if we have money, we hide it and we say, no, wallahi, we're struggling. No, يا أخي, وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث. يعني just mention the ni'mah, the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon you. Say, alhamdulillah, Allah gave me a lot. So, this man came to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and said, Ya Rasulullah, inni dhu malin kathir. I have too much money and I have big family. What should I do with this money? قال صلى الله عليه وسلم تخرج الزكاة من مالك فإنها طهرة تطهرك وتصل أقربائك وتعرف حق المسكين والجار والسائل. Very simple. That's what you need to do. You need to give the sadaqah to clean and to purify this money, and you have to, maintain the relationship with your family, and you have to understand the rights of the poor and the needy people around you. ما خالطت الصدقة مالا قط إلا أهلكته. يا أخي, I'm gonna go a little bit, and I like this, to be honest with you guys, because when we talk about the obligation, خلاص, everybody knows the obligation, but some people sometimes they don't get it until we talk about the punishment. I'm sorry. There is a punishment. If you don't pray, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, العهد الذي بيننا وبينهم الصلاة. يعني بين المرء والكفر ترك الصلاة. Between you as a Muslim and being والعياذ بالله as a kafir is your salah. So there are, in Islam, always we have the tarheeb. Yes, when you give the sadaqah, you're getting this great reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you do the salah, there is a great reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when you don't listen, I'm sorry, there will be a punishment. And here is few of the hadith that telling us about the importance of understanding the obligation of the zakah and the danger of not listening to that. I know lots of people, they don't care, man. They don't listen. They don't understand it. And no matter what he talk, he's happy that he's giving a couple of dollars to the masjid every year. No, ya akhi, there is the right here. There is. وَالَّذِينَ فِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ مَعْلُومٌ لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ. Those who have يعني a specific amount of money in their money for the people, the deprived one, for the needy people, and those who ask. Look, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this hadith said that ما خلطت الصدقة مالا إلا وأهلكت. يعني البخاري report this hadith. If your money is mixed with your zakah, يعني meaning that you have, let's say you have the 100% that you have, and you don't take the 2.5%, so you have the full 100%, and you keep it for a long time. This 2.5% that has to be given for the sake of Allah, if it stays always with your money, it will destroy the money. So we're talking about cleaning this money by taking the zakah and give it away for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ولذلك النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يعني he was so he was little bit, to be honest with you guys, يعني harsh when he talks about somebody does not give his zakah. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال في الحديث الصحيح، حديث سيدنا أبو هريرة: من آتاه الله مالا فلم يؤدي زكاته مثل له يوم القيامة شجاعا أقرع له زبيبتان يطوقه يوم القيامة. يا أخي, this is a very terrifying situation that you need to imagine. When I'm telling you, it happens with everybody. When you want to give, the shaitan comes to you, say, Ya Ammi, you know what, you have lots of plans, man. You need to buy this, you need to change the car, you need to do this, but khalas, the money stays in your bank account for one full lunar year. You need to give the zakah no matter what your plan is for the future. Khalas, you need to pay the zakah. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him money, but he kept it, he doesn't give the zakah on it, this money itself will be wal-iyadu billah. I see some kids, I don't wanna be harsh in this, but the hadith is a little bit tough. So the money itself that you're not spending for the sake of Allah, it will be come on the day of judgment as a snake, a big snake that will squeeze this person, wal-iyadu billah. Then it will remind him, I'm your money, I'm your wealth. Remember, you didn't want to. ولذلك النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال أمال ورثتك أحب إليك من مالك. يا أخي, do you love the money that you will leave for your heirs more than your own money? Your own money is the money that you give for the sake of Allah. The money that you leave for your heirs is the money that you don't spend for the sake of Allah and you keep holding it. Allah تبارك وتعالى يقول والذين يكنزون الذهب والفضة ولا ينفقونها في سبيل الله فبشرهم بعذاب أليم. Those who accumulate and save gold and silver and don't spend it for the sake of Allah, give them tidings or give them a warning of a severe punishment in the hereafter. So here I'm going to stop on the ruling, the definition, and the ruling and the obligation, because this is a very important introduction that we have to understand and discuss before we talk about the zakah. طيب. Let's start talking about the technicality. And I'm going to start this with a question. The question has 2 points because I see, mashallah, lots of people, alhamdulillah, joined us today. Let me ask this question. In which year the zakah was obligated on Muslims? Which year? And in which year the siyam? The siyam, we answered it last time. So I need to know in which year the zakah was obligated and which year the siyam was obligated. Yeah. Anybody? Write it down. You don't have to write it down if you do want to speak up. Fahim, are you here? Yes. قول يا عم احمد. ها؟ صيام السنة الثانية. طيب والزكاة؟ ماشي، ما شاء الله ما شاء الله عليك يا احمد، ما شاء الله انت خمنتها كده بس it came good ان شاء الله. Yes, it's the second year after Hijrah. Jazakallah khairan Ahmed and Jazakallah khairan Dr. Ahmed. So we're talking about the second year after Hijrah, and you will understand this, and I talked about this before when I was talking about the Siyam. You will find these rules always. For example, if a brother or sister accepted Islam and they're joining us in the masjid, I don't give them the rules first thing. I focus on La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah for a quite long time. And that's exactly what happened at the beginning of Islam. The 13 years of Mecca, of da'wah of the Prophet ﷺ in Mecca, it was about all La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Once the Prophet ﷺ moved to Medina, start establishing the city, the state and the dawla and the Muslim ummah at that time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala start giving him the obligation. So we have the siyam in the second year after Hijrah and the obligation of the zakah in the second year also after Hijrah. طيب. متى تجب الزكاة وتلزم? When do I have to pay my zakah? When do I have to pay my zakah? تجب الزكاة على المسلم إذا ملك نصابا ملكا تاما فارغا من الدين ومن الحاجات الأصلية كدار السكنة وكتب العلم وآلات الصناعة وأثاث وغير ذلك. So the zakah is obligatory upon every single Muslim who owns the nisab, or the value of the nisab that's free from all of his basic needs. Yani you have the nisab. What is the nisab? The nisab is 85 grams of gold or the equivalent of that in money. I need somebody while I'm working to give me how much exactly, because it changed and I didn't get chance to look at it, how much it's worth in Canadian exactly. How much it's worth in Canadian exactly, and then we'll give this to everybody now. Okay? Nobody got the answer? How much it's worth in gold? No, it's not. It's not 3,000. It's not 3,000. How much it's worth in Canadian? How much it's worth in Canadian? Yani last year was around 4,500. Last year was around 4,500. So it's, guys, check it online and then while we talk. So a person has 85 grams of gold or 595 grams of silver. Nobody keeps silver, or the value of both in money. That will be the nisab of your zakah, and you keep this amount in your bank account or at home for a full lunar year, meaning that you didn't use it at all. So whatever this amount and what's more than this amount, you have to calculate it at the end of the year and you pay your zakah for that. You pay your zakah for that. Okay, 6,000. It seems. Who's Abdullah? Fahim? No. You know what? Let's calculate it later. So tajib zakah, when you have this nisab, you keep it for full lunar year, you have to pay your zakah on that amount. طيب. Before I go to, I have 2 points that I want to discuss quickly before I go to the money that the zakah should be obligatory for, and the how to distribute and give your zakah. These 2 questions are very important, and I would like to answer them, but we'll see if we can answer them today, inshallah ta'ala. Let's have few points concerning بمن تجب عليه الزكاة. I said that the zakah is obligatory upon every Muslim. طيب. What about the little kids who has money but they are not يعني they didn't reach the age of puberty yet? لا يا جاسر, it's not 7,900. Impossible to be that. أقول لك last year it was 4,500. Yeah, guys, just calculate how much is 85 grams of gold. How much it's worth? How much it's worth? That's it. That's what you need to double check. How much? Yes, around euro, 5,000 euro. I don't think so, man. Why are you saying euro? We live in Canada, Habib. طيب. Anyway. Okay, maybe the price of gold is high. 6,700. Maybe that's a thing. That's what Murad did. It makes more sense to me. But you guys calculate it at the end of the day and see how much 85 grams of gold worth. Anyway, let's discuss a few points before we go to the money that I have to pay zakah for. Because you have cash money, you have gold, sometimes you have some silver, sometimes you have business, sometimes you have buildings that they have get rent, building that you buy to sell, stuff like that. We need to discuss each one by itself, inshallah ta'ala. But before that, let's discuss about the person or the people who are paying the zakah. Number one, الصبي الذي لم يبلغ الحلم وله مال هل يجب أن يخرج وليه الزكاة من ماله أم لا? If there is a kid, children, they have money. For example, yani their father passed away, left some money for them, and they, or you just like went to your bank account and you give $10,000, you put them on a side under the name of my child. طيب, what is the ruling on this money? The kids are not much, they didn't reach the age of puberty yet, so they don't have to fast, they don't have to pray, for example, they don't have obligation yet. So what we do, most of the scholars, including Malik والشافعي والثوري, most of them, they said that يجب إخراج الزكاة من مال الصبي حتى المجنون والمعتوه غير مكلفين لأن الزكاة عندهم حق واجب للفقراء والمساكين في أموال الأغنياء بدون نظر إلى كون مالك المال مكلفا أو لا. So most of the scholars are of the opinion that you need to calculate this money and pay the zakah on this money, because the zakah is obligatory upon the money when the money reached the nisab, not related to the person who owns the money, which makes sense to me. Yeah, if you have the money set aside for the kids, or the father passed away and you are the executor of their wasiyah, you need to understand that you have to pay the zakah on this money. Some scholars, they said no, and that's, by the way, النخعي والحسن وسعيد بن جبير قال والأحناف لا تجب على هؤلاء إلا زكاة الفطر وحجتهم أن هؤلاء غير مكلفين. They use the analogy that they don't have the obligation yet. They're not obliged to do the religious ruling yet. So for us now, we'll let them wait until they reach the age of puberty and then they start paying their money. These are the two opinions. You want to follow either, it's fine. I would go with the first one. Even the kids, you have to calculate their money and pay the zakah for that. And by the way, That question came to me a couple of days ago. One of the sisters, she said that I got some money. I was saving. Exactly, the question was like that. I was saving the child support, the child benefit tax money for my kids. I always save it. I don't spend it. So I put it on a side. Now I look at the amount. It's big amount. Should I pay zakah or not? That's exactly the answer here. Yes, most of the scholars, no, you need to go and pay the zakah for this money. Some they said no, you don't have to. So you know what? Go with whatever you want. I will go with the first one. Type 1 gram. Type okay. It seems that this is a good that's accurate answer. So 85 grams Canadian will be uh, 85 grams. So how much approximately? 64,000? No, this is the guys. There is something wrong here. I believe there is something wrong. We need to calculate it. 1 gram is 75. Type. If we say 1 gram is 75, then how much is 85 grams? 85, 85 times 75. So it's 6,375. 6,375. Around that number will be the nisab for this year, inshallah ta'ala. طيب. Number one, the kids, pay attention to this. طيب. Mesh, good. Ya guys, jazakallah khair. Guys, you pay attention to me. Number one, jazakallah khair. So, approximately it's 6,500. Perfect. Number one, the kids, the money of the kids. Number two, if you have the nisab, pay attention to this. This is very important. I have the nisab, but I usually I don't like to handle this specific question because some people, he has the nisab, but he has a mortgage. I am not with the mortgage, as you guys know. I'm against the mortgage. But you have the nisab, you have the mortgage. Mortgage is a debt at the end of the day. You have the nisab of the zakah, but you have a debt, a student loan. You have the nisab, but you have some debt towards somebody. You have the nisab, but you have credit card for like 10,000. What should I do? You can choose. If your debt is scheduled, so you're paying it regularly, then you have to pay your zakah. If you want to take all of the money that you have the nisab and you put it towards your debt, that's fine, and there is no zakah on that. Okay? So لا صدقة إلا عن ظهر غنى. يعني you can just give zakah while you need the money or you are in debt. It doesn't make sense. Okay? طيب. You have some money, you borrowed some money which reached the amount of the nisab. Yani you borrowed $10,000 from somebody and you kept this money with you. So what should I do with that? Should I pay the zakah on it or not? It's still debt. You borrowed it. Yes, you shouldn't pay the zakah on it. من استدان مالا وطال عليه الحول وكان صمك فلا زكاة عليه عند الأحناف. يعني some scholars they said that we will go with the opinion no zakah because you already have to pay this money later. So it is that's يعني you don't own it يعني. Anyway, طيب the next point that I wanna discuss إذا كمل النصاب في أول الحول. يعني your zakah year starts in Ramadan. So you have it here in Ramadan. Okay? In this Ramadan you have the nisab. Pay attention. ثم نقص أثناء السنة. During the year, the money gets dropped to be less than the nisab. You spend some money from it. ثم كمل. Then again at the end of the year becomes the nisab again. فلما جاء انتهاء الحول كان كاملا. فإن الزكاة تجب في نهاية ذلك الحول عند الأحناف والمالكية. أما الشافعية فقالوا إذا كمل النصاب أول العام ثم نقص في أي وقت اعتبر ابتداء العام. Look at this. I always get this question. A year ago, I had the nisab. In the middle of the year, the money dropped less than nisab. Then now, as I'm talking to you, it becomes full. The nisab again complete. What should I do? Two schools of thought, they said that you need khalas, calculate your money and pay on it. And I go with this to be in the safe side. Some scholars, they said no. Once the money dropped, you should start your haul, your year, from the day that becomes complete again. So it's up to you. Calculating it this way during the year, it will be too much headache. So basically, be in the safe side. As long as you have it for 1 year, even it drops in the middle of the year, pay the money, and the 2.5% at the end of the year is better for you. Okay. طيب. Somebody at the end of the year, he had the money. The money had it for one full year, but once right after the year is full, he lost the money. But he had it for 1 year. He lost the money. يا أخي لا وما جعل عليكم في الدين من حرج. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't put hardship on us in this religion. خلاص, if that's the case, خلاص, we'll just let him, we'll tell him خلاص, you don't have to pay anything if the money, you don't have the money anymore. However, it was with you for one full year. Well, that can answer a very important question. يعني if you lost the money, you had it for the last 10 years, you had the money, but you never used to pay your zakah, and now you want to pay it on that money, but you don't have the money anymore. Khalas, alhamdulillah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive you. But if you still have the money, you need to calculate for every year and pay the money for that. Okay? طيب. من مات وعليه زكاة وجب إخراج الزكاة من تركته ولا تسقط بموته. One of the most important ruling, that if person dies while he didn't pay his zakah for a year or two or whatever, this money, zakah money, will be taken before the distribution of the inheritance. Imagine, this money will be taken first, and that's, by the way, one of the, we were talking about the wasiyah two weeks ago. One of the terms that you need to specifically mention in your wasiyah, in your will, that if there is any zakah on me, I'm asking my executor to pay the zakah first. At least you free yourself, man, from that obligation. Okay. Last point, and I got this question a couple of days ago. It's a good question. The sister called and she said that there was a situation in the family. I got $5,000. There was a situation in my family. So, and they needed the money. So I give them all the money. Look at this. I give them all the money. But when I gave the money to them, I didn't mean the zakah. I didn't intend to give a zakah. Can it be considered a zakah or not? I said no. One condition of the validity of giving the zakah, that has to be with the niyyah. I'm giving the zakah with the niyyah of the zakah. This is my calculation. I calculated my money. I take the zakah out. I give it to this person as my zakah for this year. Niyyah has to be there, hadira, present, while you're giving your zakah. Okay. The only thing that can take the zakah away from this sister in this case, which was the solution for her, I told the sister, you know what you need to understand now, that you give all the money, right? It's exactly like the situation that we're discussing now. You lost all the money, khalas, you don't have zakah anyway. You gave the money away anyway for sadaqah, so there is no zakah anyway on you on that time. يبقى the zakah has to be with the niyyah, and following up with the zakah, that's something inshallah ta'ala I will be discussing. I wish no, I have one more point before I could close that. طيب, I have the zakah money, and I have the money, I have the nisab, and I have it for one full year. When should I give it? Right away, or can I give it throughout the year? That's a very common question that I get from the brothers and the sisters. First, if you can give it right away, that's great. Give it right away and khalas, get it off your head, that's fine. But if you want to plan it throughout the whole year, that's fine. And this is possible and this is permissible. Fine, you can do both, inshallah ta'ala. Now, we need to know what are the types of money that the zakah is obligatory on. What are the people who are eligible to get the zakah? It's not enough that I get some money and give it to somebody, give it to the masjid, for example. That's a mistake that some people do. They give the money to the masjid, and then خلاص it's my zakah. No يا أخي, following up with your zakah is very important. Understanding the types of money that you have and you have to pay on, it's very important. And I believe these 2 points, inshallah ta'ala, will be the topic for Tuesday, inshallah ta'ala, talking about the types of money that I need to pay zakah for. And number 2 is the people who are eligible to receive the zakah. Inshallah ta'ala, on Tuesday, we'll be talking about that. I know we will have lots of questions. That's why I finished early. I talked only for 10 Egyptian minutes, as you know. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I was so brief today, and I didn't take too long time from you guys because I know that you will have lots of questions. So we'll go ahead and we receive the questions, inshallah ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum. Please feel free to ask questions here. Yeah, that's Sa'ad. طيب, you can ask either on the Facebook, on the Google Meet, or on the YouTube, inshallah ta'ala. وإياكم. طيب حسام غريب, طب شيخنا شخص عنده دين لشخص آخر, على من إخراج الزكاة? That's a very good question. And I like this question. يعني it comes a lot. Look at this question. Brother Hassan is asking this. I lended you some money. So I'm the owner of the money. You are the borrower of the money. I said earlier, if I am in debt or I borrowed some money, I don't pay zakah on this money. Who will pay? The owner, the original owner, or the lender will have to pay the zakah on this money, except in one case. If he is sure that this money will not come back. Yani if the person who borrowed the money will not return the money, and I'm sure that he's not going to return it, khalas, you don't have to pay the zakah for it. But originally, the person paying the zakah for that is the person who is owning the money and the lender at the end of the day. تمام كده حسام؟ طيب, do I pull my money with my wife's money to calculate نصاب? حبيبي حسام, جزاك الله خير. Do I pull my money with my wife's money to calculate nisab and pay zakah, or do I do it separately? That's a very, very, very good question. If you both of you are working and you have separate income and have separate account and separate whatever, that's everybody has to calculate their zakah on their own and pay the zakah on their money. Okay? But if you are two separate entity, but if you are one entity, the money is also yani always in one pool. You have the money in one bank account, which is the case with most of us, except you guys are fighting. That's a different story. You can come to the office, we'll fix your problems, inshallah. So if that's the case, you separately, that's everybody calculate their money and pay for it. If you have one pool, one bank account, calculate it together and pay the money. Wallahu a'lam. طيب, أين تنفق الزكاة لجزء إرسالها إلى أماكن الأكثر احتياج؟ طيب, where to give the zakah money? Again, as I said earlier, يعني this question will be answered on Tuesday, because I know Tuesday, guys, not too many people showed up last Tuesday, maybe because it's after Salat al-Asr and you guys take a nap on that time. So I need you to stay tuned and to come on Tuesday, inshallah ta'ala, to attend with us, inshallah ta'ala. That will be Tuesday after Salat al-Asr, 6 o'clock, inshallah. And then we'll be answering this question, ya Sheikh Gasser, inshallah ta'ala. Okay? More questions about what we have discussed today of the zakah? I'll give you some time. Okay, more questions? Okay. Is there a deadline for paying the zakah if my cutoff is first Ramadan? Okay. When is the deadline for me to pay the zakah? I answered this. I kind of answered this. So if that's from the first of Ramadan, you have to start thinking about paying your zakah, right? You can pay it right away. Preferably, if it's in Ramadan, pay it in Ramadan. That's more preferable, you know what? But if you want to keep it and sponsor a family or something like that throughout the year, that would be good too, inshallah. Okay. Other questions? طيب. I think we are okay today with this. I think more questions will come on Tuesday. I would love to see everybody on Tuesday, more technical. It will be more discussion. My question, where is it? Where is it, Azad? I didn't see it. Let me see it. YouTube, YouTube. Okay, my question. Where is it? Is it on YouTube? Ayub Muhiddin, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Where is the question, Saad? I don't see the question, Azad's question. Can you write it again? Where is it, man? Okay, 1 second. Yes, Azad, if a silver is considered the zakatable cut-off amount is way much lower than that of the gold. Why don't we then take silver as standard? Okay, طيب. Uh, to make it easier on the people, because some scholars actually they go with the silver, but most of them they go with the gold because it's more money, so it's kind of more saving and it give you more break. So if you want to go with the silver, feel free to do that, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so I got your question then. As that, if the server, I got it again. Oh, you send it 3 times, man, mashallah. Sorry, I just didn't see it. Okay, وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. طيب أيوب السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إذا أعطيت شخصا دين ولا أدري متى يعيده، هل يمكن انتظر حتى يعيد المبلغ وخرج زكاته في ذلك الوقت؟ So brother Ayub is asking again the same question. If you give some money to a brother as a loan, but no specific time to return that, can I wait until I get the money? Again, the bottom line is if he's returning the money for sure, you will take the responsibility. If you're not sure about returning the money, do not pay the zakah until you get it and you pay the zakah. فإذا لم تكن متأكدا من أنه سيعيد المال، هنا تنتظر حتى يعطيك المال وتخرج عليه الزكاة. أما إذا كنت متأكد من أنه سيعيد المال مهما طالت المدة، فعليك المسؤولية وأن تتحمل مسؤولية هذا المال وأن تدفع عليه الزكاة المفروضة بإذن الله تبارك وتعالى. طيب نورلان, if my parents have debt, do I pay their debt or my debt and their zakah first? I didn't get your point. Do you mean that giving the zakat to your parent from their to pay their debt? Is this what you mean, Nurlan? So basically, to answer your question, Nurlan, if your parent has debt, you pay the debt for them first as an obligation on you. It's not going to be considered as zakah, and then you look at the remaining amount with you. If it reached the nisab, then you pay the zakah on that. If it doesn't reach the nisab, that's it. خلاص, you don't have to pay anything. No, you can't pay the zakah because as a debt, you have to pay the debt first. It's a debt. It's not going to be considered as zakah. Okay. Yeah, I got your question. Nurlan. I have a if the okay. If I loan money and it will come after 10 years, what should I do? 10 years. Well, that's a good question. Uh, I don't think that you pay the zakah on that until you get it back, inshallah ta'ala. Allahu a'lam. Let me double check on that. But for now, you don't have to pay the zakah on it until you get it back, inshallah ta'ala. Okay? I believe we answered all the questions. Dr. Haytham Safri, money to do zakah for include balance on bank account and cash in hand minus debt, including credit card balances. Any other types should be included. طيب, can we it's a very good way of drafting it, Dr. Haytham, but we're talking about now you are discussing one thing only because there is عروض التجارة. Can we keep this point to be discussed in detail next time, inshallah, on Tuesday? I got your point. Okay, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, Doctor, jazakumullah khairan. Any other question, guys? طيب, it seems that we are done all the questions. Inshallah ta'ala, I will see you guys Tuesday. Salat al-Asr, we pray at 6:15. I will be live, inshallah ta'ala, with you guys to continue and to talk about in details about the types of the money that zakah is obligatory on, and the masarif is zakah, to whom should I give my zakah, inshallah ta'ala. Jazakumullahu khairan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us all. I'll see you guys inshallah ta'ala Tuesday. Assalamu alaikum.